Previously on Pasta Grammar.
I learned that what we have here, that what we call ricotta, isn't even just bad ricotta, it literally is, by definition, not ricotta.
Maybe one day we can try to make our own.
And I really wish I had a way to have goat ricotta all the time.
Buongiorno. It's quite early, but I don't really care, because I don't think I've ever been this excited to make a video.
Buongiorno.
You ready?
Ever since I had my first ricotta in Italy, I've become completely obsessed. It is so delicious and so unlike anything I've ever found here in the US. We've tried to look for the good stuff. We've been to specialty markets. We've gone to Italian markets. Doesn't even come close. Then we went to Sicily and my further obsession with goat ricotta began.
È una cosa strepitosa.
Pecora e capra.
Pecora
Diciamo
e
la
capra.
verità.
Ok, pecora e capra.
È un mix.
I think it's the most amazing ricotta I've ever had. It's the best for cannoli, in my opinion.
It's ricotta, not ricotta.
I know, Italians always give me a hard time for how I say ricotta. I don't know which is sillier, me saying ricotta with my normal, natural American accent, or me trying to say ricotta. Ricotta. Leave a comment down below. Which makes me sound sillier, ricotta or ricotta?
I never made ricotta in my life because when I was in Italy, when I lived in Italy, I didn't need. I had always a person who came to my home and gave me fresh ricotta for very little money. Then with Harper, we traveled a lot around Italy and we saw a lot of people making the real ricotta. And we tried to learn from them how to make it. So we decided that it was time also for us to try it.
But first, we need some milk.
Okay, I think this is the place.
Arrived.
Guys, we are here at the Fiore di Capra goat farm, which we only heard about because thanks to you, you guys recommended it to us. This is Alethea, the owner here, and she's helping us out to find some goat milk today.
We breed La Mancha dairy goats, and they're great for a good butter fat, and they're very quiet, have an excellent disposition, and that's why I chose them. I just love them.
If anyone's local to Tucson, you sell your milk at the Heirloom Farmers Market
on
every
Sundays,
week, right?
Yep, every Sunday morning, 8 to 12 during the summer, and 9 to 1 during the winter.
So you don't have to drive all the way out here. We just really wanted to meet the goats.
You can if you like, but you don't need to.
Milk.
I have my milk.
Now that we have our milk, it's worth talking a little bit about how ricotta is made. In theory. Ricotta is made from the whey that's left over after you make cheese. So in order to make ricotta, you first have to make cheese. It can be almost anything and sort of depends on what kind of milk you use. For instance, if you're using cow milk or buffalo milk, maybe you make mozzarella. If you're using sheep milk, you make some kind of pecorino. All of those cheeses are made in essentially the same way. You start by heating up your milk to a certain temperature. Then you add the rennet. Rennet is made actually by scraping the inside of an animal's stomach. This is why traditional Italian cheeses technically aren't vegetarian. Now, all the cheese places we saw in Italy, they use the actual pure rennet. It looks like this kind of funky, grimy sludge. They would wrap it up in a little cheesecloth and literally just sort of whisk it through the milk. That's one problem because we're not going to be able to find actual pure rennet. Once the rennet is added to the milk, after about 45 minutes to an hour, the cheese curds will set. It's literally magic, just like cheese cheese rises to the top of the milk. At this point, they do a process called breaking the cagliata. You'll actually break apart those curds. And in fact, depending on how much you break them, that will largely determine what kind of cheese you get. Those broken curds are then collected, and that is the actual cheese. Depending on how you process it, you'll get different kinds of cheese. So for instance, you can take that and you can age it and make like something like Parmigiano or Pecorino, or you can kind of work with it in hot water and make mozzarella. Now what you have left over is the whey. Usually to increase the yield, you actually add a little bit more milk into the whey. You also add salt at this point, and then you re-cook the whey. Re-cook. Ricotta. Get it? You literally just heat it up and the ricotta rises to the top. It's actually quite simple, in theory.
These are the ingredients that we need to make our ricotta. We need raw milk. Someone can ask, but can I use pasteurized milk? Technically, yes. It will be the same, for sure not. And if someone is concerned about raw milk, remember that we Italians eat ricotta more or less every day, and we have one of the highest life expectancies. We live longer than most of the people in the world, so.
A couple of quick things about raw milk. A lot of states in the US actually have completely banned the sale of raw milk for human consumption. I'm gonna flash on the screen a website where you can source raw milk for your pets. If you're lucky enough to live in a state that allows the sale of raw milk, I would highly recommend checking out local farms, farmers markets. You can usually find it. Also, a lot of the states that don't allow the sale of raw milk, you actually can get it if you're part of a cow share agreement. So anyway, it's worth checking out. Chances are you can probably find some.
Ultra pasteurized milk can never work, so skip it. Renounce. Don't use it. Don't make ricotta with that milk. Our milk today is goat milk, but you can use sheep milk, cow milk, buffalo milk. I don't know, alligator, they do milk. If they do milk, you can use also alligator milk. So you can use every milk you want. This is animal rennet. Now, we didn't see in Italy use the liquid one, so this will be for us also a discover, a try. Can use vegetable rennet? Yes. I never saw anybody in Italy use vegetable rennet, but for what I know, it can work. Here there is written that we need to dilute it in purified water, so that's why we have here some water. And then, last but not least, salt, because we need to salt our ricotta.
So first we gotta make cheese. What kind of cheese do you want to make?
I'm going to make primo sale Harper. That is a traditional Sicilian Calabrian cheese. It's a fresh cheese and it's delicious. So I can't wait also to have my primo sale.
Because we have to add milk into the whey later, we're actually not gonna make cheese with all of our milk. We're gonna set aside about 25% of it for later. 1/4 of it for later. So what temperature do we need to heat it up to?
37 degrees Celsius, which means 98 point something Fahrenheit. I'm good at this.
According to the instructions of this rennet that we got, it seems like about 1/4 teaspoon of this dissolved in 5 teaspoons of this will set the amount of milk that we're using. That ratio, that amount might change depending on what kind of rennet you get. For instance, there are like rennet tablets that you can dissolve in water. Just be sure to check the actual kind that you get. We will put a link to this one down below though. So once it reaches temperature, you turn off the heat and add the rennet, right?
Yes, I mix very well. So Harper, it's ready. And now we wait 45 minutes, 1 hour.
Another quick thing I should mention before we proceed. You will also need some of these cheese making basket things. They're very cheap, but you will need them. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a milkshake.
What's it made with?
Milk, banana, strawberries, cardamom, and cinnamon.
Did you use any of my precious goat milk?
Once I had a Tom.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm just waiting.
I'm nervous.
I'm impatient.
I have a lot riding on this.
You have what?
A lot riding on this.
Writing?
Okay, it's been 45 minutes. Let's see if anything happened. Doesn't look like much happened. Ooh. Okay, something definitely happened. So what are you doing? You're just kind of slicing it up?
I'm slice right now what we call cagliata. How do you call this in English?
Curds?
Curds. Then we wait because the cagliata needs to separate a little bit from the weight. Wait. So we wait about 5 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is finish to break the cagliata. I will not break it very, very thin in a small cardle.
I think the word you're looking for is pieces.
Pieces, because we learned that depending on how big or how small you cut it, you can have an aged cheese or a fresh cheese. And because we are going to make a fresh cheese, I will cut them, but not in a very small piece.
The only reason we're not making an aged cheese is because here in Arizona, it's very dry and very hot. Basically, we don't have a place to age cheese. But if you have a cool, humid place, you could make aged cheese.
So this is the consistency that we are looking for. Now we need to collect our broken cagliata and put here. Now I need to press it a little bit to take out some the whey, because still I have some cagliata in the pot. I need to make some more room.
Yeah, we definitely want to keep that.
See, also because our first goal is to make ricotta on cheese today. After we press the cheese, we let it drain for about 20 minutes. Then we flip the cheese, we keep pressing and let it drain for 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. Then we put the cheese in what we call salamoia, that is a mixture of water and salt, and then we let it soak the salt for about 1 hour, and then it's ready. The ends are so, how do you say, soft after you press the cheese. So if you don't want to do this for it, at least do for your hands.
Yeah, I've heard goat milk is really good for your skin.
Do you remember Cleopatra Harper?
Vaguely, rings a bell.
She used to make bath usually in milk of a donkey, female donkey. We don't have female donkey, let's use goat milk. I'm joking, use it for ricotta.
Have you ever had donkey milk ricotta?
I don't know, maybe no.
New mission, guys. Does anyone know a donkey farm in Arizona? Ricotta time?
Yes, now it's ricotta time. I'm pouring some milk back in the pot.
We are really stretching the limits of this pot's capacity.
Yes, maybe we needed a bigger pot, but that's okay. Until now we are safe. Some salt.
So at this point, we're literally just re-cooking the whey. You don't even really need a thermometer, although it's good to keep an eye on it. But basically, as you slowly heat up the whey, once it reaches a certain temperature, usually around 185 degrees Fahrenheit, then the ricotta will literally form and rise to the top.
In theory, Harper.
Yes, we hope.
We hope.
Target's coming up. Almost there. Right behind me. Almost there.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, now we will collect it. So this is a very delicate moment because it's pretty hot. So if you do this at home, carefully.
We got a bunch of ricotta.
This is our first ricotta, Harper.
Now let's just hope it tastes good.
I'm sure it will be delicious. Now we let it rest for about 5 minutes, just time to lose the water.
Is it good?
I can tell you, you will need to try by yourself.
The moment we've been waiting for a very long time.
We did it, Harper! We have ricotta in front of us.
It's not just good, it's perfect. It tastes exactly like what we get in Italy. Exactly. I just realized something though, Eva. We've been so focused on making the ricotta, we didn't really think about what we're gonna do with it. We can make pasta? Like with some andouille or something?
Yes, Harper, but once we have the real ricotta, do we cover the ricotta with andouille? We can make a pizza.
But then we have to wait for the dough. Do we have any cannoli shells left over?
No, Harper. We can make a cake.
Is it enough for a cake? We could do the coffee thing. So this is one of our favorite things to do with ricotta. It's just ricotta mixed with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of ground coffee. Normally that's it. To spice things up a little bit, Eva crumbled some amaretto cookies and chocolate chips on top.
Just to make it a little bit more, how do you say, fashion, more cool.
Fancy?
More fancy.
It's super good, especially with the real thing.
Buon appetito!
Not only is it perfect, amazing, delicious ricotta, it's also goat ricotta, which makes it even better.
Maybe it takes time because you need the milk, because you need to eat by yourself. But guys, do it because it has completely another taste, another consistency. You can do so many other things with this that you can't imagine.
It's worth trying to make at least once, just to see what the difference is.
At least once a week.
Guys, thank you so much for watching, and a big thank you to you all for helping us source goat milk here in Tucson, especially to our friend Marla. Before we go, a quick shout out to a pasta grammarian in action who made a beautiful looking plate of spaghetti alla Nerano. If you haven't seen our zucchini video where we made that recipe, you can check it out up here. Also check out our merch in the link down below. We appreciate you taking a look, it helps support the show. All right guys, we'll see you next time. Ciao. Do we just throw this away?
No, Harper. With this you can make the bread, you can make the pizza, you can make the pasta, and you can make a dessert, you can make a cake. And if you have pigs, they will love this. And you can imagine how good will be your andouille after your pigs will drink this. So no, we don't waste it.